Hello friends, welcome back. It's Angela with To Restore You, and you're in for a treat today because we're going to do a little something different. If you haven't watched the finale of the Spring Bloom Beginner Series, take a peek at that because you will know why this is all taking place. I have a road trip planned for the weekend. And I kind of talk about that a little bit in the video. But the other reason that you want to hop on over there is that there is a fun announcement and a giveaway that we are doing for the month of August. And you won't want to miss that. And it's easy. You just make sure you're subscribed and post a comment on there. And you will be entered to win. But with that in mind, I decided... Finally, I finished. Congratulations, Angela, for taking as long as can be humanly possible to finish a journal and celebrate a little bit with a giveaway, and then celebrate my... I'm very easily amused. My first, I guess we did go to South Carolina, but I don't know. There's just something about this particular little road trip that Dave and I are doing this weekend that I'm excited about. And mostly it is because we are going to be spending some time on the road, actually at least 177 miles on the road together, and doing something that both of us kind of enjoy, and traveling the countryside, which Iowa this time of year is absolutely beautiful with the cornfields, and I know that sounds funny, but it is pretty stunning. And just the summer weather. So I decided I was going to make some kind of log / travel journal. And Landon, my son, continues to get these college... He's pretty much decided on and committed to a school, but... or at least down to 2. There may be some changes, but anyway, he gets something every week, and this happened to come in the mail, and it was, really big. So I split it in half down to 6 1/4 by 10 3/4, and this one I'm going to finish for our September Boundary Waters trip. So I'm saving that and putting it aside, but all I used was part of a catalog, not a really sturdy, high quality catalog, by the way. And I'll explain that in a minute. An old magazine. This was a country living magazine. It's all torn apart, but I'm not throwing this bad boy away. I got all kinds of fun things I can still do with it. This was a country living magazine from last year, the summer of last year, I think June maybe. So I used that, and then the flap off of a box from one of my packages. So that's what we got. So here is what I decided to do. Now, this trip that I'm taking is 177 miles of yard sales. I mean, come on, who doesn't like that? So I decided to do a travel / vlog / record of events, memories, and purchases book. So it's just everything rolled into one. But it will help me as I take different videos. I've got all my equipment set up. It's not really high tech or anything, but it's fun for me. So I decided that is what I would do with this. And then one other thing that I wanted to be able to share with you is how I actually fill my travel journal while I'm on the road, and how I can still satisfy a little arts and crafts while I'm on the road. So let me just start you off by what I did. Now, the intent is that this will eventually be a cover to hold all of the travel journals that I do, and I'll make them all of the same size, which would I say 6 1/4 by 10 3/4. This, look for this. It's going to be in our Etsy shop. It's either going to be titled Grandma Peas or Amelia's Feed Sacks. And these are all pieces that were hand quilted by my great-grandmother, Amelia, Grandma P as we called her. And I can't wait to get these up. And you know what? These were not even intended for this project, but I just wanted to use them so badly. And it's one of the things I tried to represent when I'm working on this, things that really I love when I go out and I'm going to auctions and estate sales and yard sales and such. So this seemed perfect. And I made little pockets and tucks in here so I could stick things, which the most important is my road map. So this is Johnston, Iowa, where we reside, and right across the street is a town called Grimes, and that's where all of these start. It's 177 miles, 21 stops along the way, and so we're going to take this, we're going to see some friends, spend the night in this little cute town, and then we'll end here and drive down back to our home in Springfield in Omaha. So that is it. I'm so excited. And I figured I needed to have this pretty handy. So it is going right here in my little quasi clipboard for the weekend trip. So that easy piece of cardboard. I didn't even finish the back because my hope is along the travels that I will use what I buy, what I find, little trinkets and souvenirs, or, you know, tickets, or I don't know, whatever, little ephemera that I find along my way that I will actually add to the journal. So I am going to flip through this because I've talked about this a little bit before. I've done several what I call glue book journals, but they're not really glue books. They're more, I don't know. I need to figure out a name specifically for the ones I do because they're not really glue books, but they kind of are. So I just started off with doing a quick collage. This is the country living. This was the topic, flea market finds of the magazine. So I just cut those out. This was Hotel Lago in Rome. This is from a Wurlitzer, I think. Milk glass, which I love, and some ball jars, and just some fun little things. And these are all, there's sari, and there's some ribbon and twine, and some little tassel-y things too. But I decided this is probably going to get pretty full, so I did put a tab and just a really plain old piece of twine for my cover. And then this is what I want you guys to think about when I say, don't throw those magazines away. First of all, two things. One, you may get a layout idea for your junk journal, just in the way that the blocks are set on any said page. For example, just in this half page here, maybe that's how you want to set up something that you're working on, just in that graphic. So it's something I used years ago. Here's a 4-square, in art, when I was taking art classes in art in college. And it's just another way to kind of think about graphics and page layouts too. And if you're a scrapbooker, it's also fantastic for that too. So just a couple of reasons to use it. And then when you're done looking at it and you've satisfied that urge, and you've done some maybe layouts and done everything you possibly could, then with that, start cutting that bad boy apart and have fun with it. So this is going to be I decided to flip things upside down. Most of the time we have these journals that go this way like a regular old book. And I just like the idea of switching it up. So and it's pretty, like I said, it's 10 plus inches long. So this is going to be a little bit hard for me to show, but the first one, the top, is just some, I think they look like die-cast different vehicles and cars and trucks and stuff and things like that. And then I just stuck a little paper clip with some fabric on there. One of the things that I do love to collect, and I use just because I think they're beautiful, but also for storage, are vintage suitcases. And I was Landon was like, what are you doing? And I was telling him, and I said, you know, like things that I like I love to collect old suitcases. And he's like, yeah, we know, Mom. So they called me out, and I just did this like a tiny little luggage tag with our name on it. And then this one, I did not do, I left a lot of these really blank because I want to be able to write quite a bit. And I'd like to keep it all in one place. So I left lots of white space. But again, these were just leftovers from, can you see that? There you go. These were just leftovers from a background of one of the pages. And then this says, let's see, old find, new use, give new life to favorite pieces. So I just kind of, like whatever spoke to me, I added to this journal. And then this one, let me see, let me turn it this way. This is what was actually in the catalog that was sent to Landon. It says, live a life worthy of the calling which you received, Ephesians 4:1. And I was like, well, that must be junking and thrifting and all that fun stuff this weekend. So I kept it. Just put a couple pieces of old book paper that I had lying around. You might be able to see this and maybe not, but this is that translucent duct tape that I was telling you about in one of our other videos. And so it is in the Amazon store under To Restore You Essentials, and it will be in the comments or in the description below, so you can click and grab some of that. But I'm telling you, because this wasn't a very sturdy base or foundation for me to start with, I did reinforce every single page at the end. So one thing that I did that was kind of fun, and let's see, let me get a, so those of you who, there's some of you who may remember this, but this is a Glenwood cook stove, and there's, you know, it tells all about the history. So on some of these, I thought it was really cool just to keep that history in there, you know, for the fun of it. But I loved this color palette. And, you know, here's just a little something that Country Living shared. It's worth between $2,000 and $3,500. Unrestored, $100 to $400 to $18,000. Holy moly. So if you guys find one of those, I don't know that I'd let it go, but not something that I collect and not something that I would probably purchase. Although, how cute would that be in a little cabin somewhere in the woods? I don't know. I think it'd be adorable. But, and then this one, I just used some ledger paper, and this is just some canning jars, which I thought turned out super, super cute. Oops. And so I just kind of fussy cut around those. But what a beautiful photograph. They did a fantastic job, and just put that on the bottom of that page. This is not exciting. Graph paper, and I made a little pocket. This is actually not from that magazine. It's from, I think, Vogue or one of those. Another little clip with some fab. This one has a specific purpose. This is where I plan to kind of write down what I purchased, how much I purchased it for, and initially what my thoughts are for using it, whether it's something I'm going to turn into a DIY project, something we would use for for staging one of our renovated houses, if it's something I'm going to do for our YouTube channel, or if it's something that has specifically to do with junk journaling. So that's pretty exciting. And then I just used one of my CD covers and put this all inside of the cover for all of my receipts. So that is, maybe I should have done two. I don't know how much I can fit in there. But I just, you know, cut out letters from the magazine and made that into my receipts belly band. And I just had so much fun with this. And let me explain to you why. I thought not a bit about it. I just went to town. I cut out things that I loved and started slapping them on a page. And it is what it is. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. I've got some rips in the pages. I've got, torn edges, which I love. I just didn't care. I just wanted to put stuff in here that was going to inspire me and would be fun to look at throughout Dave and I's journey. So this is now let me make sure. Yep, it is a Wurlitzer jukebox. So these are all elements. I cut them all apart, obviously, of a Wurlitzer. And then I did cut out two. This is worth $70. So if you find one of those, now you know. But I'm fascinated with the history behind all of these vintage pieces. Do I collect all of them? No. Here's a good example of nothingness. It says, life is a celebration of passionate colors. Isn't that the truth? This is one of my faves. I do collect, let's see. I like antique cameras. My mom also collects those. And she does a lot of like watering spouts and, like the ends off of a water hose, the metal ones. Which I absolutely love too, but I just collect for her, and hopefully she'll share those with me someday. I collect flower frogs, which are the pieces. I have fresh flowers every week if I remember, or if Dave decides to gift me some. So flower frogs are awesome because they've got the little metal pokey things or the divots, so that when you put your stems in, they stay nice. It's the opposite of like putting tape on top of your round vase in a grid. So if you didn't know what those were. So those are some things. And then I love the flour sack. Like I said, my grandma had a ton of it, and I turned it into digital. I have not got the heart yet to use it on anything, and maybe I'll make a quilt, but let's just not get too crazy. But this one I thought was fantastic, and I thought it would be fun for this particular one. I do not collect these, but, I think as an artist and a junk journalist, this would be kind of fun to look for. And so on this one, I put, not on that one. I put all the information about the Binding and Smith Crayola crayons, and it tells the history. And then apparently they're worth quite a lot of money. So again, hang on to those. This was one of my favorite country living magazines, and I love them all, but this one was really good. So that's the reason I kept it for a whole year. I'm trying to do this so you guys can see everything. And I don't know. I am excited to like put some tales of the trip on here. And, like people we meet and things like that. Because sometimes, you forget who it is you met. And this I thought was just absolutely beautiful. And by the way, any of you, if you were like me and were in 4-H, keep those ribbons, because girls and boys, they are worth quite a lot. I don't know. I don't have it on this page, but I did save it. But I just thought this was so pretty. And then this is something I would like to collect, but I haven't found any that I really fell in love with. But the champion souvenirs, what the heck am I saying? Trophies, and the ones that are actually you could put flowers in. I used to have one a long time ago, and I ended up years ago selling it on eBay. I don't know what I was thinking. Dumb. This is from another book that I got. It's a mid-century, it's all about Christmas in the mid-century, and I've put it away now, but I just thought I needed a Christmas page because vintage Christmas is something I love. I have lots and lots of ornaments and, the cute little boxes with Christmas lights that are vintage. And I do have, in fact, an aluminum tree, which is kind of a fun story. I went to an auction, and this man, he obviously collected them, and man, he was bidding it up so much. And I was like, come on. And we just kind of bantered back and forth. And I think he finally just felt sorry for me and let me win the bid. And I think I paid $200 for this tree, but it's huge. And after I won it, he said that is the one of the most beautiful and perfect aluminum trees I've ever seen. And it has the wheel that makes this spins around. The tree actually spins around, and then all the colors, so you don't put lights on it because they were very fragile. And so the light works and everything. So I got a great deal, and that guy was so kind and so informative too. I was just tickled. But I put some, this is also in my, will be in my Grandma P and Amelia collections. But I had those. And then this is pretty, nothing on it. A couple little things, but that will be writing spots, same as here. More of my suitcases. The other thing that I love to collect, and I use them when I finally decide to do my more nothingness. This is my favorite. I can't wait to show you guys this. When I give you a tour of my craft studio, you will see that almost everything is 50s and 60s, and I have lots of picnic tins. You know, the more unique, the better. And then the refrigerator, I think they're called refrigerator jars, maybe. But they're really kind of like Pyrex with the glass lids on them. And I use all of those for all of my storage in my craft studio. And plus, they're just fun and pretty to look at. So here's what I did with this. This is, I just put this on a little, normally I would use these on the side of my journal to put my tassels and such. But in this case, I decided to do, let me pull this off. I got a little carried away with the compacts and lipstick and the frilly stuff, but these are all vintage hand mirrors. And what I decided to do is all of those pages that because I didn't cut this up because I just loved everything in the magazine. So I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna just jump, you know, off the cliff and do this, I want to save some of these things. So a lot of the things, like here's the lipstick cases, and these are plates, I guess. I'm not into plates, but brush and mirror sets, textbooks and guides, and everything that was in there. It talks about their history. And so I thought, well, as I, depending on what I actually score at these 177 miles worth of yard sales, maybe I'll find some other interesting bits of information that I can stick in here about some of my purchases. So that was kind of fun. They did such a fantastic job on illustrations and on the photography and the photo shoots. I just couldn't help myself. So this was kind of a fun piece. I just wanted extra room to put more bits and pieces, and so I used all of the compacts. So this is open through here. This flips either way here, and then it's open here. It's open here, and then it's closed here. But this opens up. As long as I don't, my nails, let's see. There we go. So what's going to go in there? I haven't the foggiest idea. But I know it's going to be fun. But look, I mean, this took me no time at all. Like, no time. Possibly an hour. But that might have been because I got a little carried away fussy cutting all kinds of things. So, and then on the back, I just used literally the back of the magazine cover because I wanted it to be a little more sturdy. And I just put this, you know, road trip because maybe we'll have another one, so I'll add it to it. And I left the flea market finds because I thought it was sweet. No, I get no endorsements from Country Living or Hearst and Company. I wish I did, because as many magazines as I buy from them. But I did have a ball working on this. So I hope you guys try it. And, you know, maybe it's like the next one is going to be the Boundary Water. So that one is going to look a little different. I tucked away some of the pages, actually, from that trip. And like hunters and gatherers. I thought that would be cute. And then there was bunches of duck decoys and, you know, things that I probably wouldn't normally get into, but sleepaway camp. So I just pulled all of these. Are all guides, like camping guides. That's not. But so I just tucked those away for my next project. And that's in September, so I'll have to, you know, whip that up soon as well. But let's put this aside for a second and let me talk to you about, should you decide to take your show on the road. Now it depends on how long you're gone, right? As to how much stuff you need to take. This is literally, we're leaving, Dave doesn't know it yet, but we're leaving at like 7 o'clock. Well, we'll probably leave around 7 o'clock from our home. And literally the first town, which is called Grimes, is one side of outside of our development is Johnston, and right across the street is Grimes. So we probably won't spend a ton of time because that's really pretty suburban. You know, it's just a suburb of Des Moines. So we probably won't spend a lot of time right here. We'll probably head to some of the more rural cities. But here are just a couple of things that I bring with me. I always take my little notebook, and this is, you know, it might be ideas that I have. It might be something I see that sparks an idea. These are videos that I had done at one point. But it's just, you know, kind of things that I want to be able to look back on, but I don't want to have them in 100 different places. So I just take one of these along with me. I've got some Post-it notes. Obviously, I've got to take a hardcover book, and this you might have seen from one of the other videos is Ty Pennington's new book, which I love. And if you have, I did not know that this was what it was going to be about, but if you or someone that you know or love is affected by attention deficit, this is pretty enlightening. And I didn't realize, I thought it was all going to be about him and his life in construction, which I'm fascinated with, but it's got some really great messages. So there's my plug. And then, of course, I have to have my iPad. And this is kind of fun because my iPad is, I have the keyboard, so I can do quite a bit of work on that while we're traveling, should I so choose. So those are just essentials that they always go with me. And then, of course, I always have my camera. But when it comes to crafting, I'm going to tell you on this trip what I'm going to bring. First of all, I'm bringing the flushable wipes. Because I'm telling you, glue, I get it everywhere. And, you know, flushable wipes, they're going to be handy for anything. Who knows? We're in rural Iowa. God forbid we have to take a pit stop on the side of the road. Not that anybody ever does that, but, you know, right? Okay, this little guy, a little girl, let's call her a girl. This used to be Demi's years and years ago, and I have been carrying it around with essentials, mostly office essentials, but I packed this with the only things that I was going to take to craft with. I don't even know what's in. Oh, you see, I'm obsessed with tabs and Post-it notes, so that's what's in there. What's in here? Oh, more Post-it notes. Imagine that. Some business cards. Always a good idea if you have a business to have. I did not know those were in there. Good thing I looked. And it looks like a thumb drive, which I probably don't need, but it's going to stay in there because it probably has something on it that I don't know what it is. And then in here, I just have really simple, well, extra glasses because I always lose mine. A pencil, a highlighter, a lot more Post-it notes. Oh, geez. Oh, a lot more Post-it notes. And then I just have my more pencils. A couple of my very favorite pens. You guys have heard this, the Uniball Vision Elite. If you have taken my course on Kajabi at tourstoryou.mykajabi.com, I am so stingy with those pens. Like, they do not get borrowed to anybody because they are my absolute favorite. And I know you guys, oops, don't forget the glasses, probably have one of those too. But All right, so those are things, some of which I did not know were in there, but here's what I did pack. And I'm going to put this aside and just show you. I did stick a couple extra envelopes because I thought perhaps I might need to add some to the journal. But I brought crafter's tape, pair of scissors, which those say fabric, and they're kind of quickly becoming not fabric scissors, a glue stick, a paper punch, and I don't know, you know, I just can't live without this thing. No, is that not working? I need to work on that. A corner punch, 2 stamps, and these are my mini stamps that I'm daintily using because I don't think Close to My Heart makes these anymore, but I love these for travel. I only brought black and brown. That's it. I probably did not need to bring a box knife, but because I can assure you that Dave probably has, I don't know how many in his truck, but this is my favorite, my very own personal box knife, and so I brought that. And then I knew that I had little mini rulers from my kids' days at school, so I ran down and got one of those that I could, from the craft room, that I could stick in there. And then I bought these little tiny bottles. It holds 40 milliliters of glue. So I just filled this to 30 with the Fabrifix because I doubt that I'm really going to use it, but I wanted to have it just in case. And I got those on Amazon. I will add those to the to our shop because I think that these would be so handy for a lot of things. And they have the really fine tip that you can add to them. I didn't bring it with, but I think there's 4 or 5 in a pack. Perfect for a quick little trip. Now, would you want to take this if you were going to be somewhere and were able to craft for several days? No, you'd probably want to bring something bigger. But that is all I'm bringing because my mindset is that my creativity will lie on whatever the adventure is that that we have, and the things that we find will be what I create with. So I kind of like the idea of doing things just like with absolutely nothing. Like it makes me feel like I don't know, a frontierswoman. Like, you know, what would they do if they wanted to make a quilt and they didn't have any thread? You know, would they, what do they use for, what do they use for stitches? Something pig gut? I don't know. Would they use that? I don't know. But so we're going modern day frontier, work with what you got and see what we come up with. So my goal for you guys is once this trip is over, I will come back and I will have that journal filled and I will kind of talk to you about how I fill my journal and my thought process in making those, and then we'll just have some fun and I'll kind of tell you some stories and hopefully I'll have some good ones, which I can't imagine that I won't. Between Dave and I, we usually have some pretty fun, entertaining stories to tell. So with that, I want you guys to have a fantastic rest of the week. By the time that you're watching this, I will already be on my trip. So safe travels if you're doing any traveling this weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next time. And thank you for all of your support and for your comments. And I will see you soon. Until then, remember to take time to just be. Cheers.